No, it's not one of Elon Musk's thousands of children. This then is the Toyota bZ4X, and it's the world's largest car maker's answer to the likes of the EV-powered favourite, the Skoda Elroq, the best-selling Tesla Model Y, and the relatively new Kia EV6. The bZ4X has been facelifted really quite heavily for 2026, so I'm here to find out two things. Number one, can it compete with some of the very, very best electric SUVs on the market today? So again, like the Ioniq, like the Model Y, like the EV5. Number two, perhaps more importantly, is does the bZ4X feel like a proper Toyota? Because don't forget, Toyota actually came up, or they mainstreamed the SUV crossover, whatever you want to call it, back in 1994 with the RAV4. Does it then have these inherent Toyota qualities that, if you're a Toyota enthusiast like me, you know and love? Reliability, solid build. Does it then feel like a car you can rely on? And if, like me, you were wondering what bZ4X means, you've got BZ for Beyond Zero Emissions, because electric vehicle, get it. 4 for the segment that the car's in, so C-segment SUV. X for crossover. There you go. Anyway, I'm George, and welcome again to EV Powered. Toyota bZ4X is huge. It's much, much bigger than it looks in pictures. It's 4.6 metres long, so yeah, it's definitely got some presence to it. And, well, I've seen some very unkind comments online that say it looks like a Cybertruck, which isn't just wrong, it's plain rude. Personally, and anybody else who has eyes, will agree that this is a very, very handsome SUV. It's not some anamorphic blob. It's all very daring creases and angles around here. And it actually gets Toyota's new signature hammerhead front end, which isn't just bZ4X specific. It's also on the new CHR Plus, which we'll have a review of soon. It's on the new RAV4, and it's on the US-only Camry, which is a car I like very much. We've got these wraparound headlights here, which are shaped like boomerangs. We've got these running lights, which are nice and blocky. The two-tone paint job, which on the previous car was apparently matte. I've not driven it, so I can't say. But this is glossy, and it works all nicely with the bodywork. And on this top-tier XL model car, we have 20-inch alloy wheels. It's very handsome. I very, very much am a fan of its design because it's something different. I mean, when I go to the supermarket later, as I tend to do after a shoot, I wouldn't get lost, or this car wouldn't get lost in the car park amongst the, you know the brands I'm talking about. So well done, Toyota. Top marks for the design. Ultimately then, the Toyota bZ4X gets a solid 8 out of 10 for me for design. Looks really handsome. I like the sharp edges, and I like that new hammerhead front end. Tell me what you think though. Do you think it's overkill? Would you prefer something maybe a little bit smoother? Let me know in the comments. And now, let's go and have a look inside, which I think is also really cool. If you're like me, you'll agree, because you like Toyotas too. Right? Inside the bZ4X, it is not your nan's Yaris. It's actually really, really big in here. It's nice and spacious. And like the exterior, pictures of it don't actually do the bZ4X justice inside. Toyota will let you have the interior in any colour you like, as long as it's black, which is a shame actually, I think, because there are some really pleasant surfaces in here, and maybe some different colouring would break it up, but nonetheless, it's a nice place to be, and it all feels nice and quality, as a Toyota worth its salt should. The centre console here, it comes with 2 wireless charging pads. There's also a USB-C charger two USB-C chargers down here underneath it. The gear selector actually is here, so you have drive, neutral, and you do that to put it in neutral. Snow mode, which thankfully we don't need yet. Eco mode, which will obviously make the car more less heavy on its battery. Turn traction control off. Why you want to do that, I have no idea. And as much as I mentioned it is quite dark in here, you can, and that's because of the premium pack that, remember, £2,500, that does include this. Ta-da! Let there be light, in the words of the Pope. I think it was the Pope. Back to the interior, we have this massive 14-inch screen, which is apparently lifted from Lexus. You have your temperature control gauges down here. I don't know why, but I really like them. They move really like they're in treacle. Adjust the speed of the fans there, where you want the air to go. And obviously, you know, if you've been watching EV Powered for a while, that none of us like ADAS. So to turn that off, dead easy, because that's what Toyota do. They aim to make life simple, all very functional. You do that. Off, off, off. Obviously, this is showing Apple CarPlay. You have Android Auto as well, but even Toyota's regular system is decent, in which the graphics are nice and sharp here. I've not connected my phone to the car's inbuilt system, but it's all very pleasant. Car controls, there you go, so that's how much electricity we've used. 2.8 miles per kilowatt hour, which is what I'm averaging at the moment, but that's neither here nor there. If you want to find out more about these, I would say get down to your local Toyota dealership and have a play about for yourself. I've gone a bit, well, Peugeot with the steering wheel, because instead of it sitting up here like that, and now where I sit naturally I can't see the display, you look over it. And unlike in most Peugeots I've driven, it actually works. It's quite nice. I like what they've done. Now I'm looking properly over the steering wheel to the driver's display here, which, to be honest with you, the graphics are nowhere near as crisp as they are on the central screen. They look a bit dusty, and actually the font that they've used, and this is me being really, really nerdy and nitpicky, it looks like something from the past, or Toyota's from the past, which is a little bit strange considering how crisp and sharp everything is here. There is definitely a disconnect in graphics between the two, but it's not bad. Does everything you would need. The steering wheel, actually, I'm very fond of too, because it has all of these physical buttons. If so, you have this to adjust your volume, you have this to scroll through, here we go, car menus, and then you use this to scroll back through your menu. These to manage the cruise control and your speed, and Toyota voice mode. Not even tried that because that never works in cars. Mode here, that's put the radio on. No, that's not GB News, that's good. And then we have trad stalks here for the indicators and the lights. You have these to manage the windscreen wipers and fluid and this, that and the other. So overall, before I tell you that, this is the camera. So it sort of checks out where your eyes are. Now, it's not massively intrusive. It doesn't go bang, 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 bang. But it did tell me to sit up properly. So the person who said in the Peugeot E208 video, you're slouching, well, the Toyota agrees with you. The only car that's told me to sit up. So, how'd you like them onions? Historically, Toyotas are quite pricey, and the bZ4X isn't any different. Entry-level cars, the design models, they are priced at £39,175 with Toyota's £1,500 electric car discount included. This range-topping car, the XL, is £48,995, and there's also a £2,500 premium pack on that, which throws in a JBL stereo and a panoramic sunroof and those nice wheels. We're actually now looking at £51,495 for what... Okay, there's that optional pack included, but essentially for what feels like a Toyota tax, and as much as I do like that car, it's not class leading. And I'm going to tell you why it does come across as a little expensive. Referring back to that Toyota tax that I mentioned earlier, I'm sure it's actually a thing, because the range-topping Skoda Enyaq Sport line, that is, and I have it written down here because I was on the Skoda website when I wrote this script, is £47,260. The Kia EV6 GT Line S, another range topper, that's £48,045. Those are both cheaper. Even the Tesla Model Y, which is a bestseller for a reason because it's a damn good car, that's £48,990. All right, sure, the Tesla's still just a fiver under the price of that, but it's still cheaper. And I'll tell you why that's not a class-leading car. And I don't like saying that, but it's just not. The Toyota's 71.4 kilowatt-hour battery, it's not the biggest, and its maximum charging speed is 150 kilowatts, which is, well, considering the Skoda, the top line one anyway, that will charge up to 175 kilowatts using a fast charger. The Tesla, because Tesla things, that'll charge up to 250 kilowatts, which is 100 quicker than that. And then there's the range as well. Toyota claims that will do, or the bZ4X, and also front-wheel drive version, because we only get the front-wheel drive versions in the UK, will do 319 miles on a single charge. No chance. No chance. The cold weather, and it's not, okay, it's not as dreary as you can see as in other videos that we've done this year, but it does affect it quite significantly. So you're looking at about 270 miles, 280 miles on a full charge in that, in slightly chilly conditions. So, does it tick that box of being a proper Toyota? Well, at this price point, yeah, it does. The bZ4X, as you might have noticed, is a Toyota. And that means it shares its badge with the GR Yaris, which is one of my favourite cars of all time. And this also means that they are ostensibly one and the same. And so I will put my Toyota Gazoo racing hat on, signed by one of their rallymen, Sami Payari, to find out whether or not I will be able to, well, pick up some rally driving skills or build on the ones that I already have and be able to hustle this around like Toyota Gazoo Racing's GR Yaris Rally 1 in the World Rally Championship. And to mark this scientific experiment, I'm actually going to put on my rally clothes to make sure. You're probably wondering if I have become a Toyota Gazoo Racing World Rally driver. And the answer is no. No, I haven't. But 221 brake horsepower in this is more than enough. It just rides really, really smoothly. Citroen levels of smooth, actually. So do you really want to tune your inner Sami Payari or Marcus Grönholm? Not really. Not really. It's not built for that. Best regeneration system I've had in this, because you can't turn it off fully, but when you put it on its lowest setting, you can go down a hill and just let the car's mass, it's about 1.8, 1.9 tons, to do the work for you. Using the paddles to manage the brakes here. So I'm going downhill, I'm licking along a little bit too lively for my liking on this angle. So I'll up the regen from 1 to 2, still a little bit hot for my tastes, so up to 3, can feel the car slowing too much, down to 2, down to 1, up to 2, down to 1. I've never driven a car in which I can do this. I really haven't. Do you remember last year, if you watched, that the Skoda Elroq VRS was a car that I really formed a connection with? By the end of the time I'd had with that, it felt like a mate. I really, really bonded with that. And this is no different. It's not perfect. It's not perfect, but it's nice. It doesn't make my life difficult. And at the start of this video, as I said, I set out to find out, number one, can it keep up with the likes of the Enyaq and the Model Y and the Kia EV5? But also, does it feel like a proper Toyota? And yeah, it does. Well, thanks for watching. We're now at the end of the video, and it's that time where I tell you what I think of the Toyota bZ4X. Well, I like it, as you could probably tell that already. Sure, it's not perfect. The charging speeds, they're not the fastest in the world, and the absence of a glove box is a little bit weird. But I like it because it's something different. But before I sign off today, I'm going to ask you, what do you think about the Toyota bZ4X? Would you rather have one over a Skoda Enyaq, a Kia EV5, or a Tesla Model Y? Let me know in the comments what you would have. Let me know what you think about this car. And well, thanks for watching. I will see you for the next one. Peace out.